This is Screen Test, and we're going to the Oscars, breaking down every major nomination at this year's Academy Awards. I'm Jackson Floyd.
And I'm David Lynch, and in this video, we are breaking down the category for Best International Feature at this year's Academy Awards. And the nominees this year are Les Miserables from France, Parasite from South Korea, Corpus Christi from Poland, Honeyland from North Macedonia, and Pain and Glory from Spain. So if you look at this field of Best International Film nominees this year, one of them stands out above the rest, and that's Honeyland, because it's not just an international movie, but it's actually a documentary, and it's also nominated in the documentary category. And to see that movie get a nomination elsewhere, let alone in Best International Film, is kind of really astounding, and really there's little to no precedent for it. Doing some recent Oscar analysis in history, I found that the only other documentary that got a nomination elsewhere outside of the Best Documentary category was, I believe, RGB for, I think, Song. I believe that was last year or 2 years ago, sometime in the last couple of years. So it's really rare. It indicates a lot of support, Jackson, for that movie, Honeyland, which I don't know if you saw, but it's a really dazzling movie, one that kind of breaks the ground between documentary and narrative in the way it's structured and the way it's told. It's not a talking heads documentary, which is a big reason why it shows up in this category as well. And it's ostensibly about beekeepers in North Macedonia, but it's also sneakily about family and mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, the cyclical nature of life, and just lots of big, heady themes more than just beekeeping. It's really incredible, and I think the fact that it shows up not only Best Documentary, but here in Best International Film from North Macedonia as well, is a big sign for support.
Yeah, and it's not the only film here that's featuring that's garnering more nominations across the board here.
Absolutely.
You look at Pain and Glory, Antonio Banderas, we talked about in the Best Actor video,
right.
Nominated for his role. Pain and Glory is also nominated for a few other awards here. And then Parasite is nominated for 5 awards, I believe, at this Academy Awards here.
That's the big one, 6, I believe.
6 awards, yeah.
But some big ones aside from here.
Full disclosure here in this category, out of the movies here, Pain and Glory and Parasite are the two that I've seen, and I don't feel bad talking about the international film feature here because I just want to dive into Parasite.
Yeah.
To me, it's the front runner here. It's the one I think will win. And it's been kind of the Cinderella story of this Academy Awards and just the year in movies as well.
Yeah.
It's an international film that is resonating with American audiences, which is something that doesn't happen very often.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
So Parasite comes our way from Bong Joon-ho, who's one of the masters of the Korean new wave of cinema that's sprouted up, in about the last 25 years. So the director, he's been around for a while, and really in a certain way with, if you're talking about the Academy making its if we're talking about the Academy and its efforts in recent years to diversify its audience, to expand its horizons beyond just American movies, beyond just male filmmakers, we've seen a little bit of those dividends pay off, and it's really kind of interesting that lines up with Parasite here, because Bong Joon-ho is a director that injects movies that have really big mainstream genre appeal. He's made monster movies, he's made kind of crime movies, and one of his biggest, most well-known films, Memories of Murder, evokes David Fincher's Zodiac, one of the best movies of the century so far.
He's made train movies.
He's made train movies, exactly, and that one might be one of the kind of maybe a breakthrough in miniature before Parasite, because that was his first English language movie with Chris Evans and a lot of well-known stars on stateside, basically. Parasite is kind of, in a way, as someone who's been a big fan of Bong Joon-ho over the years, finally him getting his due on American soil and with American audiences. It makes sense that he would be the director to break through with American audiences and American appeal, because this movie, if you haven't seen it, first of all, go watch it.
Yeah.
And it's a big movie with big genre appeal. It's kind of like, it's styled in a thriller. It's in a few scenes, it takes on the trappings of horror, and it's basically right up his alley as far as big social commentary and commenting on kind of really pressing themes of the moment that are relevant, not just in South Korea, but everywhere around the country in terms of classism.
Yeah, one thing you didn't mention is it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a really
funny
dark
movie.
comedy film about class, and American films, can deal with class. You don't see one that dives right into the themes of class wealth and the differences in class and the I guess the dark side that comes with greed.
Sure. And which balances all those things really well too.
Exactly. It's just resonance with things that happens across the world in different cultures, especially in America here and South Korea, obviously. Clear front runner. I think so. It's going to take this home. Do you think it should win? Do you think it deserves the win here?
I think so. It's important to note and big to note that this is the second year in a row we have a major way ahead of the other competition contender in this category that's also up for Best Picture nomination. We're getting a little bit into the Best Picture conversation here, but I think it's important. Make sure to check out the Best Picture video as well. And Parasite is nominated for Best Picture like Roma was last year. The thing that's going to be really interesting to watch on Oscar night, and I do agree with you, Jackson, that Parasite should and will win because it's far ahead of the league's competition in this category. Even though Pain and Glory and Honeyland are two other really, really strong contenders in this category, the interesting thing that will be to watch is if on the off chance that it doesn't win, does that guarantee a Best Picture or possibly Best Director win? Because the Academy in recent years has been more likely to kind of share the love between different movies instead of just picking one or two and saying, you guys get all the awards.
Yeah, so for instance, a movie might win Best Director but not Best Picture,
right,
or Best Screenplay instead of some of the other awards.
Right.
Yeah, I could see if we do see on the off chance Parasite doesn't win international film, maybe that means Bong Joon-ho is going to win director, or maybe it's going to win another award like Best Picture.
Right.
I we'll get to Best Picture. I don't want to spoil this that award here, but I do think there might be bigger awards in the future for Parasite.
Right.
On the outrage meter, if you're going to put it on 1 to 10, is the only way you're going to feel a slightly bit of outrage here is if Parasite doesn't take home the award?
It's interesting because I want to say yeah, but also kind of I think depending on what happens later in the night as well in other categories that are further down the road, it might indicate something else as far as the Academy's sensibilities in sharing the love or just giving Parasite all of the awards potentially. If it does end up winning, it's going to be a one for me. If we're going to stick to this category for Best International Film category, I love what Honeyland does. I love what Pain and Glory does in their own different ways. Parasite's just leagues ahead of the crop in this one.
Yeah, on this outrage meter, if Parasite does go on to win, it's a 0 for me. It completely deserves the win here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's Best International Film here. Be sure to hit subscribe down below for all of these videos that we're doing for Screen Test. Again, we're breaking down every major nomination here at this year's Academy Awards. I'm Jackson Floyd with the Kins 5 Digital team.
And I'm David Lynch. And if you'd like to check out some of our written reviews of this year's Best Picture nominees and other awards and the Oscars as well, I've written about every Best Picture nominee. You can check that out at kins5.com/screentest. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.